Okay, so I took a little break over the weekend and 60 odd sets dropped in a single wave. So let's go through all the highlights, the head scratchers, and the sets that make you question whether LEGO's accountants have ever held a wallet before. But first off, leaks. The LEGO Edition Set 43017 Oscar Piastri helmet and Set 43023 Lando Norris helmet were spotted on a store display by Haptics, and later on that day, Remarkable Peach spotted them in another LEGO store, so these things are probably due for a reveal at some point. We also have an update to Set 76476, Ministry of Magic. This is going to be that big 18 plus Harry Potter set with 3,491 pieces, and this should be out in September. Now that we have the updated set number and piece count thanks to BrickMerge DE, and apparently it may be able to connect to last year's Hogsmeade and retired Diagon Alley, which makes no sense. Anyway, on to the reveals. We all saw the leaks, yet nobody saw it coming. We have a Megatron BrickHeadz. Yes, a Megatron in BrickHeadz form. This is set 40924 with 224 pieces priced at $25. Now, considering LEGO pulled a Megatron minifigure factory design after a single day, the fact that we're getting anything with his name on the packaging feels like some sort of fever dream. Is it the large-scale icon set that everyone actually wants? No, it's a BrickHeadz, but it exists, and that matters more than people are giving it credit for. The obvious barrier to a full Megatron build has always been the alternate forms. A gun in G1, a tank or a fighter jet in other iterations. I guess you could argue a space fighter jet or a turret as well, but LEGO doesn't do guns, and military vehicles make them deeply uncomfortable. So they went with tank, and they made it cartoony enough to kind of sidestep any controversy, and labelled it the Megatron vehicle. Not tank, just vehicle. But the Transformers BrickHeadz work as a format, and that Decepticon logo print is great, which I think the Transformers mock community are going to go absolutely feral for. The real question is, what comes next? A Soundwave BrickHeadz? A proper icon scale Megatron in 2027? Now that LEGO has clearly decided that the tank form isn't off limits. Jumping through a warp ring, we've got the LEGO Sonic Summer Sets. First up is set 77119, Tails' Tornado 1 with 310 pieces priced at $30. Pulled directly from the game and faithful to the source material, the Tornado 1 folds from its classic configuration into its X-Wing style attack formation. The stud shooters work, the Egg Chaser Bandit is a great little companion build, as is that little mini floating platform with that cloud piece. We've got another new Tails face print, although one slight problem, Tails cannot sit down in his own cockpit. I feel the issue here might be the legs that were used for the minifigure, as well as Tails' two tails, complicating the matter. But overall it's a solid build that is distinct enough from the previous Tornado set. Set 77120, Shadow's Mech vs Gun Trooper, priced at $50 with 374 pieces. Okay, so first off, the mech isn't from any game, not even Shadow's standalone title, and yes, it does look like a forgotten Ninjago mech, but I kinda like it. Shadow's got a great new yelling face print, the motorcycle detaching from the mech with the Doom wings spread behind it is a visually cool image. The wing piece appears to be in a colour we haven't seen in that form before, and Shadow's Doom powers designed from Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is faithfully captured, though I will say the Sonic license deserves better than just 2 sets a year, and we all know it. Set 40926 is the LEGO Sega Genesis console, priced at $40, with 479 pieces. For context, the LEGO NES is $270 and the LEGO Atari is $240. This is $40, and that kind of makes it a win right off the bat. And look, the build delivers. You get the original Genesis model with a quick piece swap. You can convert it to the UK Mega Drive version, which is the one I'm more familiar with. Red buttons become grey and the logos change. However, the Japanese version doesn't get its own dedicated swap, which does seem like a bit of an oversight given how iconic that design is. But it's a minor omission for a set at this price. The Sonic 2 cartridge is adorable, the controllers physically plug into the console with brick-built cords, a detail that absolutely didn't have to be there, but it makes the whole thing feel complete. And if you lift the top off, there's a hidden Sonic mosaic flashing you from inside the build. If you grew up with this console like me, then this one's going to have to be on your shelf. The only real question is whether LEGO follows this up with more affordable retro consoles. And we know that we're getting a brick-built PS1 at some point. It will be interesting to see how the two compare side by side. And so, the console wars begin again. Moving on to the LEGO Bluey summer sets, we're going to start with set 11216, Grannies with Bingo and Bluey. This set will cost you $15 and will have 80 pieces. LEGO has created an entirely new mold specifically for Bluey and Bingo's granny outfits. A completely unique piece that will never be reused, designed purely to faithfully recreate one episode of a children's show. You also get a golf cart that could slot into any LEGO City mock without looking out of place, a sandcastle, some beads, and that excellent beans can print Bluey fans will immediately recognise, all for $15. Compare that to some of the Iron Man 4 Plus sets in the same wave charging $20 for 96 pieces, that value gap becomes genuinely uncomfortable. Set 11221, School with Rusty and Bluey, priced at $25 for 106 pieces. Rusty is here for the first time, which I think is the only genuinely new character across the entire Bluey wave. The build has this clever Fabuland style interior with a kitchen, nursery and crib build. It's a bit overpriced, but I'm sure the target audience will love it. Set 11217 is the brick-built Bluey family, priced at $70 with 466 pieces. Bandit and Chili look great in brick-built form, and the swappable eyepieces are smart. Plus, hiding the accessories inside the characters' heads is a great Easter egg. I just don't like brick-built characters, although this one is certainly one of the more charming ones we've had recently. Marching onwards, we have the LEGO City Summer Wave, which is one of its stronger lineups in recent years. Set 60501, Lava Coaster, priced at $100 with 1,165 pieces. This is a love letter to LEGO Power Miners, pure and simple, and it's not subtle about it. The Crystal King is rebuilt here. The employee outfits reference the blue overalls and white shirts from the 2009 scene. There's a mini Thunder Driller, and Power Miner crystals in translucent colours are scattered throughout the build. Is it perfectly accurate to the original theme's lore? No, but that's the kind of nitpicking that comes from genuine affection for the original sets. Not a complaint about this one. The roller coaster uses a momentum mechanic to send the car around the track, although I will point out that this is the third version of this roller coaster that we have gotten. Again, not complaining, just pointing that out. Set 60506, Classic Beach Tram, priced at $75 with 693 pieces. Tram sets from LEGO City are rare, and this one here is a little beauty. The colour scheme is blue, tan and grey, gorgeous. You get a new little pug mould, a new seal design, the first appearance of the CMF Sunspider hat in the set. I love the tram build in this set. It's got a spacious interior for minifigures, and that seaside build is adorable. Set 60496, Pizza Delivery Experience, priced at $50 with 494 pieces. Extreme fast food is the best way I can describe this set. There's a launching mechanism for the pizza truck, a drone, a scooter, a play kitchen covering the whole pizza making process from dough to finish to deep dish perfection, an arcade machine and a dining area. Somewhere in an alternate universe, this was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles LEGO set where the theme lived on. Set 60494, Dump Truck and Front End Loader, priced at $130 with 1,132 pieces. This is one of the larger and more expensive sets in the City Summer Wave. The main focus of the set is of course the two vehicles, a large dump truck and end loader, both in the same black and yellow colour scheme. In addition to the vehicles, there's a small construction site office, complete with an accessible interior. Set 60511, Vintage Steam Train, priced at $90 with 575 pieces. The steam engine is pretty, the passenger car is charming, and it's one of the more affordable train sets LEGO has released in recent years. But $90 is still $90, and most of that price is probably going on the track. Without them, this is probably a $70 set. This is worth watching when it goes on sale, but let's just look at that locomotive again, just for a few seconds. It looks good. Set 60492, Passenger Jet, the only 4 plus set on this wish list with 118 pieces, recreates a simple build aeroplane. Nothing fancy, just a quick, simple build. Set 60480, Yellow Backhoe Loader with 301 pieces, priced at $30. We have a brand new brick-built backhoe. This is your stereotypical LEGO construction vehicle with a modern yellow and black colour scheme with a large front loader and rear digging arm. Set 60509, Harbour Freight Train, priced at $110 with 803 pieces. LEGO has finally gotten another freight train, finally. Again, I love the diesel locomotive in this one, and the container wagons are awesome. This one has a refrigerated container carrying ice cream, a tractor flatbed, and the containers are stackable. Oh, and it has this little crane to help load and unload the freight. Of course, the set is priced up for the tracks, but again, keep an eye on this one for when it goes on sale. Set 60497, Drive-Through Car Wash, priced at $60 with 583 pieces. I feel like we haven't had a proper car wash set in years. The set has a water drop mechanism from the top, and the storytelling of a roofless car going in and coming out clean is quite funny. This also has the first appearance of the brick costume in blue. This set doesn't feel too expensive, and it's a pretty decent set. Last but not least, from LEGO City, we have set 60512, Mountain Bike Adventure Van with 260 pieces, priced at $20. This is an adventure-themed van with space on the back for 2 different LEGO mountain bikes. It's a small build that has an abundance of biking-themed accessories. Casting a charm over the LEGO aisle, we have LEGO Harry Potter set 76473. Hogwarts Castle East Wing priced at $250 with 2,164 pieces. Now, I think this is the most expensive Hogwarts expansion yet. Of course, it connects to the existing modular castle next to the Slytherin common room. If you're committed to the modular Hogwarts project, this is non-negotiable. If you're not already committed, 270 is a steep entry point. Plus, I'm not sure if you can buy any of the older sets. But looking at this thing combined with the existing castle makes it look absolutely extraordinary. And at this point, stopping would probably feel worse than continuing. Set 76478, Dumbledore's Office Book Nook, priced at $130 with 1,182 pieces. Every time Dumbledore's office has appeared inside the LEGO Hogwarts Castle sets, it's been an afterthought. LEGO have recognised that. Closed up, you look down into the office from above, open it, and the full interior detail is revealed. Artwork, pensive, it's honestly quite impressive. Shifting to the darker side of the Wizarding Street, we have a brick-built recreation of Nocturne Alley. Borgin & Burke's is recreated out of various grey bricks with its multitude of bottle green windows. Alongside Poachage's new and used, there's also a little entry alleyway build. Set 76477, Norbert, Hagrid's Baby Dragon, priced at $50 with 482 pieces. This one has turned out better than expected, and that's generally the best thing you can say about a set sometimes. Moving on. Set 76475, Forbidden Forest, Expecto Patronum, $35. It's a scene that we've seen before. It's executed cleanly. You get 2 Dementors, Harry, Sirius, and the Stag Patronus. A solid set for new collectors or younger fans that didn't get the older one. A little late for Star Wars Day, but we have the LEGO Star Wars Summer sets. Set 75459, Imperial Shuttle, $130. This version of the iconic Imperial Shuttle is based on the Mandalorian. It looks sharp in both flight and landing modes. Is $130 steep? Yes. Is it surprising for a Star Wars set in 2026? Absolutely not. Set 75461, buildable Darth Vader upscaled minifigure, $100. This one is more expensive than the usual upscale minifigures, but the cloth cape and lightsaber are things that you don't normally get at this scale, so I guess we can justify the price. If this is the start of a proper line of upscale character figures, that's an exciting direction. We do have a upscale Boba Fett rumored to be making its appearance, and an upscale Spider-Punk, so it'll be interesting to see how those two turn out as well. Set 75451, Hutt Palace Sentry Droid Showdown, $50, 415 pieces. Now, when I first saw this, I thought we were getting another Boba Fett mech. I was wrong. On the plus side, we've got our first Embo figure since 2011. That's 15 years. That alone makes this worth noting for anyone who's been waiting for Embo to make his return. We also got this new wolf kind of mold. I think it's Killiu, the wolf thing, the wolf thing, this thing, new mold of that. And the Mandalorian and Grogu are the same versions you've seen everywhere. But for $50, this looks more like a $30 build, even without the new minifigure additions. Set 75458, Imperial Remnant ATRT driver helmet, $70. The helmet line lives on and keeps delivering. The angles of this build are well executed, and overall the shaping of the set are perfect. The only downside, no minifigure, and it costs $70, but regular buyers have already made their peace with that. Other than that, the August wave is shaping up to be a solid Star Wars year overall. But now it's time for a brawl. It's time for the LEGO Fortnite sets. Set 77082, Rave Cave, priced at $230 with 1,963 pieces. This is of course the centerpiece of the Fortnite wave, and it earns that status completely. The Cuddle Team Leader exterior is packed. The ears, the heart patch, the chest logo, the snow caps, the purple rail that runs through the entire set, and the baller build that rolls through it are all absolutely perfect. Step inside and the intensity continues. There's a DJ booth, speaker wall, graffiti across every surface, and a dance floor that detaches. There are 6 figures, including Cuddle Team Leader, and she apparently unlocks the 2000 V-Bucks skin in game, which I guess is a great inclusion. You've also got DJ Yonder, Funkops, Aura, Eevee, and Party Trooper. $230 is a lot, but for the scale, the detail, and the game unlock, I don't think it's an unreasonable ask. Set 77081, Kit, priced at $110 with 1,230 pieces. The arms detach and redetach. Kit the cat can be removed and placed in the motorcycle. The wheels rotate with the gear. It's clever. It's very clever engineering. Buying the set also unlocks the Kate Meowie skin in game. So if Kit is your character, this is everything you want. If you've never had a connection to Kit or heard of Kit, $110 is a lot to ask score. Set 77080, supply drop priced at $44 with 314 pieces. Now you can't argue that the supply drop build itself is pretty iconic. The balloon, the crate, the tan parachute cords are exactly right. Fish Sticks gets his first ever LEGO minifigure, and the headpiece is ripped straight from the game. The only problem I have is that the display stand doesn't match the aesthetic of the other Fortnite sets. The smoke effect is cute but unnecessary, and if you strip those additions away, you would have a much better price. At $45 is a stretch, though the character exclusives certainly carry the price in this one. Set 77079. Tomato Head, priced at $18 with 210 pieces. I have no idea who this character is, but I can't argue that the shaping on this set is pretty good. The stem, the eyebrows, the moustache, the eyes, all good. There's even a little restaurant build interior inside, which is an unexpectedly delightful little detail. Moving on to the mighty world of LEGO Marvel, we have set 11209, Ultron vs Iron Man, priced at $20 with 96 pieces. We've got another Hulkbuster, and that new Ultron head mold is adorable in a way that shouldn't work, but it does. This will be an easy pass for most adults, but we know that Ultron figure will find a way into people's displays. Set 11211, Loki vs Team Iron Man, priced at $50. You've got Iron Man's jet, Ironheart's car, Iron Hulk's Hulkbuster armor, and an exclusive Loki minifigure. But for $50 for a 4+ set, that price is hard to justify unless the figures are precisely what you're after. I do like the printings on the vehicles, and it's cool that we've got this Hulkbuster in green, and I'm sure the target audience will like this set, but it is still quite expensive. Moving on to LEGO Minecraft, we have 8 summer sets and a wave that actually delivers. The Skeleton set 21594, 502 pieces, priced at $40. This is a large LEGO skeleton, detailed and visually distinct, with different shades of grey worked throughout the build. You can remove the helmet to reveal the skull underneath, and buying this set unlocks you a diamond skull cap in game. Set 21595, $70, 710 pieces, with a wing flapping gear mechanism. The pixelated aesthetic translates beautifully in physical form, and there's even a printed 2x6 tile with the Ender Dragon health bar. Overall, an excellent set. The gas station is set 21597, 754 pieces, priced at $110. Gas station is exactly what it sounds like, a sprawling 4-tiered structured build built into the heart of a Minecraft lush cave, complete with a flowing waterfall that cascades across 3 of its 4 levels. A range of happy gas are included in brick-built LEGO form, leaning into that cheerful reimagining of the typically menacing creature. Rounding out the set are 2 brand new minifigure skins, which is always a draw for collectors, alongside 2 skeletons, giving the whole thing a lively and varied cast to populate the cave environment. At $110, it is a bit of a stretch, but there's a lot that you get here for that price. Chicken Jockey set 21582, 344 pieces, priced at $30. It was always going to get a set. The baby chick here is from a very recent game update, possibly the quickest turnaround from update to physical set we've seen from LEGO. The set is simple, does what it sets out to do. It's a chicken jockey. Chicken Rider Desert Attack set 21592, 428 pieces for $25. Not to be confused with its wave companion, the Chicken Rider Desert Attack takes a different approach, assembling a cast of entirely brick-built Minecraft mobs for what amounts to a surprisingly charming desert-themed group. The lineup leans heavily into the biomes identity, featuring an iron golem, chicken jockey, paired with a baby husk riding a chicken, a baby wolf, a desert rabbit, and a baby desert villager. 6 characters in total, each faithfully recreated in brick form. First Night Adventure is set 21593, 301 pieces for $35. Amongst the wave of brick-built mob sets, LEGO isn't abandoning classic minifigure scale format that has long been the backbone of the Minecraft theme. This is a more traditional offering that taps into something every Minecraft player knows intimately: the scramble to survive that very first night. This 301-piece set recreates a modest but characterful slice of the game, centered on a small underground base flanked by 3 birch trees and a river. It's compact by design, but what it lacks in scale, it makes up for in personality. Alex is included as a minifigure, joined by a creeper, skeleton, a wolf, a rabbit, a pig, and a bee. A roster that neatly captures the unpredictable mix of threat and charm that defines the early game of Minecraft. Evoker Village Attack set 21596, 607 pieces, priced at $90. One of the larger offerings in the LEGO Minecraft Summer Wave is the Evoker Attack, a 607-piece set that packs a considerable amount into it. The build spans 2 village homes, a small animal pen, a bartering station, and a modest farm. A well-rounded recreation of one of Minecraft's most familiar and lived-in environments. Impressive as the build is, the real talking point is the character lineup. The standout, however, is the first ever LEGO Minecraft Evoker figure. a long overdue addition that fans of the game's more threatening inhabitants will undoubtedly welcome. Set 21598, 310 pieces for $30. Rounding out the wave is the Underwater Adventure, which carries a release date of June the 1st. This is an okay set with a decent ocean monument build, an Elder Guardian, some dolphins, coral reef builds, and buried treasure. Oh, and Steve decked out in fully enchanted armor. Does its job at $30. Moving on to LEGO Ninjago's Summer Wave, we've got Wildfire's Transforming Dragon Mech set, 71868, 821 pieces for $90. This is the first time Wildfire has properly had her own set, her name in the title, her colour scheme, sand green and dark red, running throughout the entire build. The dragon to mech transformation is genuinely clever, but the real story is Wildfire's new minifigure. New torso, the hip sword attachment piece, a new smiling face that actually matches her personality after years of one expression, with an alternate angry face distinctly different from anything we've had before. 3 different Wildfire expressions exist now. More please, LEGO, more. We've got Silver and Grimtack the Dragon Beast, set 71863, 232 pieces priced at $20. Silver uses the Lord Raz head mold in white, completely reprinted with new torso and legs that make him look genuinely menacing. The all-new Katana scabbard hip piece, allowing minifigures to hold a sword at the side, is a fantastic new part appearing across the wave. For a $20 set, this is quite exceptional. Set 71872, 2,178 pieces priced at $200. On paper, a dream, the Ultra Dragon versus the Great Devourer, 15 years of Ninjago, and the most iconic battle in the show's history. In practice, it's a little bit more complicated. This isn't the Ultra Dragon we know, this isn't quite the Great Devourer we remember. The Devourer emerging from the ground is a stunning build, the eyes, the scale, the way it breaks the earth, but the 15th anniversary set for the Great Devourer battle, it isn't. This is something set in the Duskfall storyline, a new narrative involving descendants of the ninja. With this one, we've got Nate, Cole's apparent descendant, and Jin Amira, and an Oni general. We've got the Twin Titan mechs set 71870, 1,770 pieces, priced at $140. Of course, the real draw here is Jin and Mira, who appear to be descendants of Kai and Nia. Jin's distinctive hood piece and Mira's tan hair are doing the narrative work for fans who have started theory crafting immediately. And we've said it many times before that the mech builds are absolutely awesome in this set. The Land Bounty set 71869, 1,214 pieces, priced at $130. Okay, so nobody was desperately wanting another Land Bounty, that's the truth, but the transformation feature, splitting into a boat, a motorcycle, and a 4x4, does look legitimately fun. I retract my previous complaint about the LEGO Technic being too visible, though $130 is too steep. I think $110 or $20 would have felt nicer on the wallet. X1 Ninja Charger set 71867, 691 pieces priced at $90. This one is probably harder to defend with 691 pieces for $90 for something that is not a large build, but on the plus side you get Dusk, the final Elemental Anniversary Master, so that's something. LEGO has remembered that it has the Animal Crossing license and has put together Timmy and Tommy's Fun Day Out, priced at $60 with 513 pieces. No minifigures, not even Timmy or Tommy as mini dolls, but what we do get is a brick-built version of both characters, and the head printing is generally some of the most accurate character work this theme has seen. The fishing spot, fossil dig, and Nook flag are neat little details, although unfortunately neither figure can stand unaided, they need their little 2x2 bases, which makes sense given how top heavy those heads must be. Whether this is a new direction or a one and done experiment depends entirely on how well it sells. Okay, it's time to get festive with the LEGO Chinese Festival sets. And my personal favourite, Ancient Move Gazing In, set 80121, $130, 1,530 pieces. This is a modular style building that fully opens, built to represent the Song Dynasty architecture, a period LEGO almost never touches. The set delivers 2 intricate, elegant wooden structures translated beautifully into brick-built LEGO form. The standout figure is Su Dongpo, a renowned poet who lived from 1037 to 1111. The minifigures alone would justify a higher price in a licensed theme. The fact that this is unlicensed and is still details says something about how much care went into this set. I love the design of it, I want it, I need it, and it will probably look pretty cool next to the Ninjago Blacksmith. Set 80120, Prosperity Carp Leap-In, priced at $60 with 736 pieces. This set draws inspiration from a beloved Chinese legend in which a determined carp swims upstream and leaps over the Dragon Gate waterfall, a story traditionally symbolizing perseverance and transformation. LEGO has produced something genuinely vibrant and full of life. Priced at $60, the highlight is this interactive play feature feature that sees 2 brick-built carps actually appear to swim, a kinetic touch that gives the set a real energy beyond simply sitting on a shelf. The carps themselves are rendered in a warm palette of yellow, orange and red tones, with a level of detail that feels anything but throwaway. These are the kind of pieces that you'd expect to find in a far pricier set. Racing towards the finish line, we have LEGO Speed Champions. Of the 3 new LEGO Speed Champion sets arriving this year, set 77264, Jaguar F-Type, Project 7 and Land Rover Defender Classic immediately stand apart. And not because of its size, at 740 pieces it ranks amongst the largest double packs the theme has ever produced, but this is the first Speed Champion set to feature 2 separate brands under one roof. The theme has always kept things tidy in that regard, dedicating each build to a single brand, whether that's Ford, Ferrari or anything in between. That changes here, with Jaguar and Land Rover sharing the same box for the first time. It's worth noting that the pairing isn't entirely random. Jaguar and Land Rover were brought together under Tata Motors back in 2013 to form Jaguar Land Rover, though the 2 names have always been maintained as distinct brands within the wider group. That relationship has seemingly given the Speed Champions design team creative license to pair 2 very different vehicles into a single set. Whether this marks a one-off or the beginning of something broader remains to be seen, but the precedent has now been set. It's not hard to imagine where the concept could go next. A BMW and Mini pairing? Or perhaps something from the Volkswagen Group, bringing Audi and Lamborghini together. We've got the Fast and Furious Toyota Supra Mark IV at $30. The Toyota has already proven itself a worthy addition in the LEGO Technic line, so it really was only a matter of time before the iconic car made the jump to Speed Champions as well, and it arrives exactly as fans would hope, rendered in its unmistakable orange colour scheme, complete with stickering for that recognisable nuclear gladiator graphic that made the car a cinematic icon in the first place. At 292 pieces, this is naturally a more compact offering than its Technic counterpart, and the model is presented in convertible form. The real draw for collectors, however, the exclusive Ryan O'Connor minifigure bundled with the set. Rounding out the June 2026 wave and providing a break from all things Fast and the Furious is set 77261, the Ferrari 499P, a tribute to one of the most decorated racing cars in recent years. Ferrari's hypercar etched a place in motorsport history by winning the 24 Hours Le Mans 3 consecutive times, and this 392-piece Speed Champions model does its best to honour that legacy. The build leans into Ferrari's classic visual identity, pairing the iconic red with sharp black and yellow detailing. Less welcome, however, is the sticker sheet. For a set of this size, it's notably a large one, tasked with conveying the team's numbering, branding and extensive roster of sponsored logos that adorn the real car. It's a necessary evil given the level of detail involved, but one that may give less confident builders slight pause. Moving on to LEGO Technic, we have Batman's Tumbler, $190 for 719 pieces. This is a remote controlled tumbler build. Despite a relatively modest piece count of 790 pieces, the set carries a price tag of $190. And the reason becomes clear quite quickly. There's a vast array of electronic components that has driven that cost up considerably. By adding powered steering, reverse, acceleration and working lights to what would ever be a straightforward static build, look, it's a high price to ask, but at least this one comes with some tangible functional features rather than purely cosmetic additions. There are 2 new LEGO Technic sets arriving this summer that will tie directly to Forza Horizon 6, each with an exclusive in-game livery alongside the physical build. First is set 42234 Dodge Viper GTS R, a 805-piece model priced at $55. This is a fairly faithful recreation of the iconic American sports car, complete with opening hood, visible engine detailing and functional steering. Interestingly, the back of the box appears to feature an in-game render of the car, potentially giving us our first proper look at the livery players can expect to unlock. Joining it is set 42235, the Ferrari 488 Pizza, with a slightly higher piece count of 882 pieces. Again, this will bring its own exclusive livery to the game. Like its sibling set, it features steering and at least one opening element, though full details are still emerging. We also have the LEGO Technic Mighty Machines Series 1. These are LEGO Technic blind boxes at $5 per box. There are 8 different vehicles to collect, clearly designed as a long-term collectible line. And at $5 a box, the entry point is low enough to pull people in who wouldn't normally look twice at Technic. And we're nearly halfway through the year, so let's look at this year's advent calendar offerings. LEGO City, priced at $34. This year, LEGO City plants itself firmly at the North Pole, with Santa's Workshop serving as the central theme. Father Christmas himself is included as a minifigure, joined by a supporting cast of 6 further minifigures that leans fully into that festive setting. Multiple elves, you've got Mrs. Claus, a snowman, and a second version of Santa, for good measure. LEGO Star Wars priced at $44, with May the 4th celebrations already underway. There's arguably no better time to get a head start on some festive LEGO Star Wars shopping. This year's advent calendar hopefully improves over last year's and leans into what is probably the franchise's most beloved current pairing, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The character roster extends well beyond the iconic duo, however. You've got Moff Gideon, Carson Teva, a grey drawer, and a new IG-11 droid. After a year away, the superhero advent calendar makes its stunning return. Set to hit shelves on the 1st of September, the web has been cast wide across the Marvel Universe for its character selection, bringing together Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Doom, Ghost Spider, Captain America and Wolverine, the festive jumper. It's a varied roster that should have something for most fans, regardless of their favourite Marvel character. Of course, the main draw here will be that Doctor Doom minifigure. The LEGO Disney Advent Calendar will bring together 4 Disney Princess Microdolls, Ariel, Mulan, Cinderella and Moana, each accompanied by a mould of their beloved animal companion, a detail that should delight younger fans and collectors alike. LEGO Friends will cost you $35, we've got some mini dolls, moulded animals, 24 gifts, exactly no surprises, no complaints. And lastly on this massive list, we have the LEGO Creator Summer Sets. First up is the Wild Family of Koalas, $130 with 1,536 pieces. And the alternate builds here are the Coral Reef, Kangaroo and Baby Kangaroo. And usually the creators' secondary builds are the weakest argument for buying, but the free generally are interesting options at this scale, and it's impressive. We have the creator Grey Wolf priced at $50 with 657 pieces. This is one of the smaller animal sets in this wave, but it still looks good, as do its alt build. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. This has been an absolutely massive wave of reveals. Personally, my favourite one out of this entire thing, other than the steam train, Ancient Moon Gazing In. I love it. I just love the design of that set. The real question is, as always, which of these actually lands on your shelf? Let me know in the comments down below which set from this massive list you want to get. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a most wonderful day. Bye.